Today we're going to talk about how to light a green screen professionally. This could be for a studio, this could be a portable studio, you name it, you could do it, and I'm going to show you how. So here's our basic setup. We're going to be using 4 lights. You definitely need 4 lights to do it professionally, especially when you have a green screen that it's not like a small little green screen just for the waist up or anything like that. If you're doing something that is closer from the waist up, you only need this 2 right here, the 2 outside. But the green screen setup I'm teaching, it's a professional one, and it needs 4 lights when it's a little bigger. Like for a small studio or anything like that, you definitely need 4 lights, okay? And I use all 4 lights are soft lights. Now, I really use a 5th light. It's up here, which I will be talking about. That's our backlight, usually hidden. If you see back here, see how it's hidden in the back? So there we go. This is the beginning of this setup. Now the first thing I always do is one of the key lights. Let's say this is a key light to light our subject. Now before we do the lighting, the first thing you want to always do is to set up the model, actor, model, whatever. It's very important where you set up your model. They usually stand because they're very used to being very close to the green screen, and you don't want that. That's not what you want. You want to make sure you have at least 4 feet, okay, 4 feet away. All right, minimum 3 to 4 feet away from the screen. Okay, that's the first thing you want to do. You want to have, because the closer you are, okay, the more green the lights are going to hit the background, and it's just going to also reflect on your model. Okay, so there's your model right there. We've already separated her about 3 to 4 feet from the back, right? That's the number 1. You want to have distance right here. So now the next thing you want to do is you want to set up your camera angle. It needs to be always straight with the eyesight. Let me bring this light down over here a second so we can see. Okay, this has to be aligned with the eyesight of the model. If you shoot down, you don't want to do that, and if you shoot too high, she's looking up. So you want to keep it, see, right there where the camera lens is pointing right towards her eyes. Okay, that's model position, that's camera position. So again, you don't want it low, you don't want it high, you want the camera to stay about there, okay? Right, shooting right at her eyes. All right, so now we already have the space of the model corrected. Camera is also like 3-4 feet away, mostly 4 feet, depending how much you want to see. And you'll see right here when I turn on the lights. And let's turn on this light over here. I'm gonna move back. Let's turn on this light. I'm gonna bring it up because I know I want it. Usually the front lights are 45-degree angle in whatever room you have it. See, this is the ceiling right here. I usually go as high as to touch the ceiling. See, like right there, right where you touch the ceiling. That's where I leave that light. Now I'm going to turn it on, and there's our first light. Now we can look here. We need to also reframe our model. Okay, let's reframe it right there. Of course, this is a headroom, very important. We want to have 2-3 inches on top of their head to the edge of the screen. This is always very important, because if you shoot like this, that's not good. Or if you shoot too high up, then this space doesn't look natural. So you want to have always like 2-3 inches right there, top edge of the screen. So right now we have a light. Now I want you to look at this shadow right here on the wall, on the green screen. See how the shadow moves? This is very important. You have to see how, light actually lights on a straight line, as you can see. See the little, it's like a little, video lights don't have a laser pointer, okay? But it'd be great if they did, because to be honest, that's how light travels. A lot of people get confused because, the bigger the light, they think it's just going to shoot something different. But no, it doesn't matter how big or small the light is. Always the center of the light right here is what's important. The center of light is where the light bulb is at. Light always shoots in a straight line. So the center goes right to her, just like you see it right now that I was showing you. All right? And there you see, like a laser. But the center part, if you measure the center part of the light with the model, you will be correct. See, like if I shoot over there, I'm shooting off, right? I shoot over here, I'm shooting off. I gotta shoot right at her, right there, and that's where the perfection of the light is. Now, the cool thing about having the light at least 45-degree angle coming down is that the higher the light, if you notice here the shadow, see, the smaller the shadow. If you shoot like this, see, I can see right here, the shadow comes out. Let me show you. See the shadow, how it comes out on the green screen on this shot? All right, you don't want that, okay? So that's why you want the lights always as high as possible so they come down. All right, that's exactly how usually the sun, gives its light. It's usually from above, right? 45-degree angle. Here in Florida, actually, the sunlight sometimes at noon, it's right on top of the center, on top of the head of the models. That's why it's very hard to film outside in Florida unless you have a butterfly, which is a frame with a silk that actually makes the sunlight very nice and soft and smooth. If the camera is right here, right, you want the light not too close to the camera, because the closer to the camera, the more shadow you see. See the shadow on the left? Look at the shadow on the left, right? See it right here? Okay, there's the shadow. Now, you want to always separate, like out here. If the camera is here in the center, you want to hear it right on the side, not too close to the camera, right on the side, okay? And then the second light, we're going to put it also 45-degree angle, right? There we go. And of course, we want this to be shooting down as well. That's her. See, always a straight line. Imagine the center of the light. Again, let me show you. This is very important. The center of the light. Imagine there's a laser coming out straight to the individual. So wherever you point this light, that's where it's going to hit, right? And that's the way it should be. Whether you have a laser on your light or not. Video lights will have lasers again. Now we have the setup back here, correct? The space between the model and the green background. The camera is about 4 feet in front of her, and the lights now are 45-degree angle. And remember, 45-degree, if this is an 8-foot ceiling, once the light goes all the way and touches the ceiling, right, that right there is like about a 45-degree angle. All right, so both lights, if you notice, now, well, you don't notice yet because this one's off. So I'm going to turn this one on, and there's your light right there. See how nice it is? Why? Because what happens is let me go close to her. We don't need to do that. I'm actually going to explain that over here. Come over here for a second on the left. If you see a face, it really has two sides. This is the middle, the nose, okay? This is the half of the face on the left, right? And this is the right side of the face. Now, that's what you need to film, because this is round going that way. I'm going to show you. Her. But see, this is one side of the face. This is her right side, right? And this is her left side right here. Okay? So there is a roundness going this way, and there is a roundness going the other way. Okay? So that's why you always need to have two lights. One is going to take care of lighting this side of the face, while the other one is going to light the other side. All right? Now, notice how the shadows are created, because, okay, the brighter the light and the sharper the light, the more dark shadow you will have. But when you turn on the other one, it kind of, helps out and evens out the right light, that's the right light here, this one, is creating the shadow. But as I bring this one up, okay, you can see how it kind of makes the other shadow disappear. Now, you don't want it too bright. Same thing with this one. You don't want it too bright either. You want to bring it down like to up there. And there you have it. There you have a nice lighting for both of her faces, right? Now, there's something missing that is very, very important here. And is if you don't have a backlight, which is the light that actually comes in back of a 45-degree angle the same way, but right on, it's usually mounted on top of this green screen, right? Okay, so the backlight, it's off right now, but I'm going to turn it on. We're going to turn that light on, and you'll see what happens, see? So now, that's too bright. You bring it brighter, see, way too bright. And then you also don't want that backlight ever to hit the background. And that's what's happening right now. So what I usually do, now notice here what's going to happen. If I shoot down, see how the light is hitting the background? The backlight should never hit the background. See, as I move it forward towards her there, it's off. Right there, it's off the background. Okay? See, the light is off the background, and it's hitting her. See how that? Remember the 4 feet space of the model between her and the green screen? The reason for that is because you're going to need that space for the backlight to come in and hit her over here. See, if we move her back, see, let's say we had it there, and this is important for you to look at. It's always good to see the do's and don'ts. And we'll just slide over here. All right. See, if you have her there, the light now is hitting her right on top of the head, in front of the head. You never want that. You never want that. The backlight should always be 45-degree angle, and it should be out here. See, so she has the backlight on top of her shoulders and also on top of her hair there. All right, so there's our shot. Look how beautiful it looks. She's got the backlight, she's got the shoulder light, right? And the hair light. Again, let me turn off the backlight and you'll see how ugly it looks. You see? The backlight separates an actor or a model from the background. It always does that. It always, and that's great because you know what? If you do this, it just looks kind of dull, right? It's kind of muddy, dull. It doesn't, it doesn't separate her from the backlight. You see how the backlight separates her from the background. And this is like pretty much close to perfection right now. Of course, there's different types of backlights. You can put side lights in the side. You can do that. This is a very basic, and this is what 99% of videographers do on green screen. Okay? This is what most people do. In other words, there she is, just lit there. Now, what are we missing? Okay, what we're missing is very important. This setup right here actually is the one I use when I'm just filming her from this shot right here, or even from the waist up. Now, here is the first light for the background. You bring it out. Oops. You usually have to be about the same height. There. Now, I'm going to bring this one on. And if you notice, see what happens? Now remember, I can bring it down, brighter or less bright. You don't want to make it too bright. You can always back it up. See? Now, the same thing I do with this light. This light, I bring it up, turn it on. See how bright it is? And in real life, this is what you're going to see. So this is what you're going to be playing. You're going to look at the monitor on your camera, and you're going to say, wait, this is too bright. So that means that you either have to move it back, okay? If you have a dimmer, you can actually dim the light down to where you want it. So there you go. Now, you're going to say, well, I don't see the difference. Well, look at the difference. See how dark it is? See how bright it is? And now notice that the light is not really shooting at her. It's shooting at the background. And this one is also shooting at the background. So this lights, you don't want this light to hit her because then it creates other shadows. And now we have all the lights on, and that's your shot. And that's how you light a professional green screen.